We'll start with an opening comment from Coach McCaffery, and then we'll go questions for the student athletes first.
Just, you know, so many things that were positive tonight. I thought our effort level, you know, you look at 23 assists on 33 baskets. You know, we felt like we could do some things with our front court. You got 25, 20, and 15 all over the glass. I thought in the second half we had to be the tougher team. In the first half, they had 10 offensive rebounds that led to 17 second chance points. So we had to rectify that in the second half, which we did. And I just want to say, you know, how happy I am for these guys and how thankful I am, you know, for the Hawkeye fans to show up the way they did tonight. That was absolutely amazing. When you think about it, we didn't know we were going to have a game until Sunday night. You know, over 13,000 people show up in less than 48 hours. That's pretty good. I mean, that says everything you need to know about Hawk fans.
Questions for Zach or Aaron?
The players, just talk about how you guys fed off the fans tonight.
You know, great crowd tonight, probably one of the best of the year. Really loud, really into it from, you know, opening tip-off. I mean, and that's just exciting for the players. You feed off that. I mean, you get a dunk and they go nuts, and, you know, it just feeds your energy both on, you know, defensive and offensive end.
Aaron, you had a stretch there where you had like you scored like 3 straight possessions, 8 points, and a couple other plays. I mean, did you feel that seemed to be a real important part of the game? Did you notice it as you were scoring?
Yeah, you know, just trying to take advantage of my height, my, you know, energy down low. I was trying to fight him out for offensive rebounds, and, you know, I got open. Bryce found me on a couple of dunks. Like you said, it was a big turning point in the game, but a lot of it is because the teammates keep me open and Bryce found me.
Zach, you were terrific tonight. You got your playing time without foul trouble, and what turned you on?
I was just being aggressive, just playing smart. I know with the foul trouble I had all year, I just played smart, just try not to foul and just make smart plays.
For Zach or Aaron, you two and then Melson as well had so much room down in the middle. I mean, what was it about your guys' energy that allowed you guys to get all those points?
I just think that, you know, we're all physical. You know, I think they had a little tough matchup in the post, and, you know, Mel went on a run and Aaron went on a run, and, you know, we just kept being aggressive inside, and they couldn't stop us, really. So.
Aaron, can you share what you and Matt talked right before the start of the second half? He kind of gave you a fist bump. Can you kind of share what he said to you or you said to him?
Yeah, I just told him I didn't want this to be the last game I played with him. You know, I've said this multiple times. He's probably the best team I've ever had, and, you know, this isn't the last game I want to play with him, and I just let him know that and let him know I'm going to fight for him and fight for all these guys.
You know, Aaron, when you left the court, Matt had his arm around you. What did you guys remember what you were saying then after the game?
No, he was just really happy, you know, really proud to get this, you know, first postseason win in a while, and you know, he was just thanking me for how hard I played, and, you know, just he said we're going to go get another one, so we're going to see who our opponent is, we're going to prepare for them, and, you know, hopefully we can make a run here, because this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, were you guys I guess having a different performance here tonight after senior day? The last home game didn't quite end up the way you wanted.
Yeah, both senior day and that Michigan State loss, you know, a lot of us didn't know if that would be our last game with some of these guys, and I think we just took advantage of that tonight, you know, and, you know, we don't want the season to end, we just want to keep on playing. So, you know, we came out with that energy and, you know, got the win.
Aaron, can you imagine coming any more full circle emotionally than you've gone from after the last 2 games? You were pretty shaken up after that Michigan State game. You have to be feeling this way. Yeah,
pretty down after the Michigan State game, as I said, for Matt and the other seniors, and, you know, to get something like this where, you know, it's just you go from that low to this high, it's great, and I'm just glad our season's, you know, still going on.
One more question for the players.
Zach, have you ever had a game where you've been perfect from the field?
Maybe high school or like 5th grade.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, but I wish I made that free throw. I mean, but yeah, that was just I was playing smart and aggressive, and you know, thankfully I made all my baskets.
Okay, we'll excuse the players. Thanks, Aaron and Zach. Questions for Coach?
Fran, I wondered, playing at home, you know, as a higher seed, Dayton would have had a home game if they could have. Just speak to that a little bit if you could.
Well, that's not an easy place to play. I've been there.
I don't know if you see 13,000, but
yeah, you know, there's 13,000 in there a lot. You know, I just have been very impressed with this team as I've studied them the last 2 days. You know, they're a 1-point loss to Xavier. You know, and those two teams are probably flipped. You know, they win that semifinal game, Dayton's in, Xavier's out, probably. You know, and you look at the BCS teams that they beat. You know, it says a lot about their coaching staff, and Arch in particular. I love their team. You know, they're a different kind of team than we are. You know, they're essentially playing 4 guards and a big. Now, it happens that the 2 wings are phenomenal offensive rebounders, but, you know, we were able to take advantage of some of our size in that situation.
Fran, what is it?
I haven't seen a crowd and a team kind of synchronized in the way they play and in the relentless way they played all night. I mean, you feel like there was no let-up at all?
There was no let-up. You know, I thought right when I came out on the floor, which is about 3 minutes before tip, but you could feel the electricity in the building and the energy level. And I think you could see, despite the fact that it was an up-and-down game and it was a physical game, you know, our guys just weren't getting tired. And that's really a direct result of the crowd energy.
Fran, it's such a tough, quick turnaround in 48 hours. Did that help the guys just go out there and play and don't worry too much about, you know, overthinking it?
You know what? We don't do that. We don't overthink it. You know, we respect our next opponent, and you know, felt like we were playing pretty well. We lost to Michigan State. They're a #1 seed for a reason. You know, physically we didn't match up quite with them in the post, but we learned from that experience and got better. So we were just so thankful when we saw our name come up to keep playing. The fact that it was here, we're ecstatic about that. And we just went to work, and that's what this team has done all year long. They don't, you know, just dwell on anything negative. You know, we had some tough losses this year. We had some games where we were really bad on defense and couldn't make a shot, but we just kept working. And you know, we're scoring the ball now. We had individual players develop significantly. You see us playing with a great deal of confidence right now, and they're having fun.
Fran, what does it say, just along the lines of the quick turnaround, that you get the production that you get tonight out of guys like McCabe, White, Basabi, all of whom are still, you know, on their way up in terms of development?
Well, those 3 guys are really good players. You know, they're smart, they're tough, and they're just getting great experience right now. And that's just going to help us as we move forward.
Talk about just Aaron. Aaron seemed to feed off the energy as much as anybody on your team, and scoring after made baskets, even in transition, and just his overall game.
He's really special. I mean, you know, we knew we had something in Aaron White when we signed him, and you've all seen it. Very few freshmen at this level accomplish what he's accomplished. You know, they just don't consistently put up those kinds of numbers. And you know, he was affecting the game in so many different ways. You know, the offensive rebound on the missed free throw. And those are the kinds of plays. They're just winning plays. That's what he does.
Zach was 9 for 9. I mean, just seemed to really take. I think he was 7 for 7 in the first half. I mean, was that part of the strategy to kind of go at their posts?
We felt like we could go inside. We felt like that was an area we could go after. We had respect for Kavanaugh, you know, but you know Zach got the better of him tonight. But that kid's a really good player. But once Zach got going, I think once that 3 went early, I mean, he made another basket. They called him for a travel. It could have been 10 for 10. I mean, he was really cooking there. So once he was going like that, we kept going to him.
Two more questions.
Did you feel like it was almost first team that had a little let up was going to fall back? I mean, it was such a frenetic pace, teams matching baskets. And
yeah, we gave them a number of opportunities in the first half to run away, and they kept coming. You know, and that's what they've done all year long. And we went to the zone. They had a couple misses in a row. We got some baskets. Once it got to 10, you felt like, okay, we have control of the game now. You're still worried about Dillard and and the offensive rebounding, but we made the plays that we had to make late.
What type of schedule can you put together now between now and your next game, as far as when you have practices? What
we'll practice tomorrow in the afternoon. We'll get them up. We're on break, so we'll get them up and have breakfast, and we'll have the film broken down. We'll watch that, and then we'll know tonight who we're playing. Start getting to work on those guys, and then we'll go from there.
If somebody would have told you Gators would have went 2 for 9 and you'd still win by almost double digits, I mean, would have surprised you?
Well, we've done that before, because the thing about Matt, he's going to play great defense. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to have assists. and he made probably the dagger three of the night. So, there's a guy who at the time was 1 for 9, and we still went to him. So that tells you about him.
Okay.
Thank you.